Alright guys, here we are for part 2 of the cam sensor, because unfortunately I dropped one of the screws, little tiny cap screws for the rotator, for the rotor that you're not supposed to drop in the engine bay. Yeah, well, as you saw in the last one, before I stopped it, I dropped one. And the only reason there's a part 2 is because most of my videos get shot on the weekend, you know, like Friday afternoon, Saturday. So if I do something like this stupid and drop the screw, I have to wait till Monday to go to work and get whatever tool or whatever I need. And there's the AC hose popping back in my way. So we're gonna go back over. I did get my other distributor at work. I had the old one, and I did have one screw left for the cap. So if you do that and you don't have one, you have to buy a new rotor, because they come with a rotor. So right now we're gonna finish doing the cap. So bear with me. As you can see, we got the old screw there. Got my gloves on, and hopefully this will only take a couple of minutes. So, as you can see, this screw, this little tiny screw, yeah, you're not supposed to drop it. And I dropped it. Now, I did drop one of the cap screws, but that's a bigger screw, and I heard it hit the ground. So, I actually was able to find that one. But this one, yeah, it's too small. It's laying on the transmission or the back of the motor somewhere, or I can't see it. So, but you put your screws in, both of them, and just snug up. You don't got to torque these down. Obviously they're very small and they will break. So then you take your cap, which I jammed way over there, and you line up your holes. And it should click down like that. So then you don't drop the camera. I'm trying to get your tools. So these are magnetic screwdrivers, which has surprised me as to how I lost that little screw, because it should have stayed on the screwdriver, on this torque bit. Now the cap screws are like a T20, and the rotor screws are like a T15. But I start the first one, but I don't snug it up all the way. I just get it going, because you want to try and make your cap pressure even to avoid the cracks that I've been having with my other ones. I'm surprised. This cap had a lot of corrosion that I found when I took it apart, so I did spray it up and clean it the best I could with some carburetor spray. Wiped it out a little bit. And I've had this cap for over a year. That's the longest run I've had in like 2 years. I've gone through 3 or 4 distributor caps. Just the caps would crack for some strange reason. So that's tight. And just like the rotor screws, just snug them up a little bit, and you're done with that. So now we're going to move on to the wires. Now, like I said, the left side of your motor is 1357, and your distributor cap is marked with those numbers because it's all integrated into each one. And it's 17 3, 5. Now I pulled these off in a certain order, and I laid them different. I laid one here, one here, one here, you know, so I know where they were. But if not, you can always trace them back. So that was number 5. And if I trace it, it goes to number 5. This is number 3. And if I trace it, oh, see, even a seasoned professional can mess up. That's number 7, which goes there. So what happened to number 3? We'll have to find number 3. Oh, it fell down. Okay, this is number 3, which fell down. And we'll slide that one on there. And the last one is number 1. And make sure you push them on as far as you can. Get a good seat on them. So, put your AC hose back. And that will give us part 2 of putting together a distributor and changing the cam sensor. So pardon me for the jiggliness for a minute. We're going to get up here. Now, the only reason I did the cam sensor, or even worried about the check engine light, is because it was sitting in drive-thrus and traffic lights and stuff. It was surging and accelerating and then almost dying. So, unfortunately, I was trying to run over people on drive-thru, and I don't know how many people really would have liked this big, tall truck trying to run them over. You know what I mean? So, almost forgot to put the wires in the wire holder, which you should really do to help keep them around a little longer. And clip your wire holder shut. If it clips shut. So, for the last part, we're going to be putting the intake back on, or the air box back together. Put the air box back onto the tube. Slide the metal clip under the throttle and over the throttle. And then take your wing nut, which, you know what, this truck didn't even have a wing nut when I bought it. I found that at a junkyard and kind of scarfed it for free. Okay, then you take your vent tube, put that back on your intake. And take your hose clamp. And snug up your hose clamp. So unfortunately we had to make a 2-part video for that cam sensor install. But as a lesson to you guys, make sure you have a really good magnetic screwdriver if you're going to take all this stuff apart. Because you definitely don't want to sit here and wait for 2.5 days just for one little screw. Because I would have had this done all in one video. And been driving the truck all weekend, unfortunately. But unfortunately, I dropped the screw down in the engine bay, so don't need the light on anymore. And we'll wrap this video up. So if y'all want to subscribe, check out the other videos I have. Go ahead and do that. Till next time, have a good day.